Hello everybody, this is episode 2 of Mod Author Overview. Now in this episode we're going to be playing through the Road Below, but unlike my previous playthrough of Jokeran's mod, this will be mostly based around picking up things that the mod author might have missed, tips and tricks and just all that. So this mod starts in the Goodsprings home, which generally it's not a good idea to start in Doc Mitchell's home, as it's a very, very used and very overused interior to have your things start in. Right, so let's get started. Okay. Okay. I'll just sink that to the floor a bit more. It's alright. You'll want to move the door marker in front of the ladder so it faces this way towards the door. Not sure what he's done here. Okay. You'll want to put stuff like this kind of decorative stuff, a bit higher above so the player doesn't accidentally hit the head, because it can become a bit of a nuisance after a while. Just make sure stuff like these rubble piles are sunk into each other so you don't get those kinds of issues. For this water, I'll go into more depth later, but you have to set the water to refract the objects that are around it. So stuff like these tunnels will show up in the water. A noise texture may also not have been set, and that's what it looks like has happened here. That's right, I'll detail that later when I go into the geck. I'm not sure what's happened here. Okay, that's alright. Generally, you would block areas off like this. You would put a full wall here because players may be enticed to think that they can get past here, and they could report that as a bug if they were so inclined to. It's just quite interesting. Oh, yeah, I did already go back up here. Okay. You obviously didn't set the havoc on that. I didn't get a proper look at it, but that's what I assume happened there. Okay, let's just find out where this led from. Just here, right. I'm getting some spikes of lag around this area, so you may want to optimize that. So I will go through and check this later. I'll assume this is another. I'll assume this is a havoc problem. Okay. Now this is definitely a bit laggier than I would like, but it's manageable. This is Michelangelo's workshop. I will go into detail later about why it's bad to reuse interiors. Especially from the base game. Yeah, as I said, you can't. It's generally a very bad idea to reuse vanilla interiors because you get stuff like this. But it's alright for now.
Every day is a good day.
Since I know this will be all the Gamora interiors, I won't go through them.
There's nothing I like.
Alright. Don't know if I want to try this out in here. I'm going to assume this is the Brotherhood of Steel safe house. Kinda cool. Alright, so that's that mod done. That's not part of the mod. Yeah, that's very strange. That's very strange. We're going to head into the geck next, so we can go through some of the points that I've mentioned in this video, and I'll fix them up and put them in an ESP for the mod author. Alright, let's get going. Alright, so we're going to see how well this works. So we're in the geck now, and I'm going to be just going through all the interiors that this mod offers. So we've got secret spot 1 well, and as I mentioned before, the problem with the door marker here is that it is behind the ladder, which is not at all what you should do. So we'll move that there, and you should come out of the ladder now properly. Same thing goes for this door here. Now I noticed something before. This is bad. Now I'm just going to start off by saying why you should not reuse vanilla interiors. Now the reason for this is that when you create an interior, it has a default set of things that it sets for that specific cell. And if you try and duplicate it, as I'm sure all the tutorials say, duplicate this interior for making your own interiors, it turns out we had some problems with that for the Frontier team, and some of our interiors were having issues that were present in other interiors surfacing in our interiors. So we figured the problem was actually because reusing these interiors can cause problems. On top of that, you also get stuff like this, which you don't want because they're generally linked to specific quests in the main story, and you don't want to be breaking the main story because that would just be that would just be bad. So I bet you're wondering how to actually create a whole new interior. Now you want to go to Cells, World, or World Cells, and right click in there once you're in World Space Interiors and just click New. Now I'm not going to do one there just for obvious reasons. So yeah, basically, rule of thumb, don't reuse interiors, create new ones. If you need to reuse existing layouts, as I know this mod does, just copy and paste over the kit pieces. So you can just, Control C, and then, anyway, so let's get to the rest of the interiors. Come on. Alright, so all these door markers are facing the wrong way, so I'll fix them up. Simple. Now I noticed this interior was far larger than what it was, well, what it is in the mods, which I assume is because the mod author did not actually use all of this interior because it is a pre-existing one, but that's okay. I didn't really pick out any problems except with the water. Now, the problem with the water here is that, let's actually check. The interior is called TRB Network Tunnels. Edit. Interior data. Now, as you see there isn't a noise texture, which means that the water won't actually show the ripples, and it won't show a texture properly, which is why the water is looking so stagnant and horrible. I will fix that up myself later because I actually have to go find the water texture and I have to extract my BSAs. Now, one thing that we can do to fix it is setting the objects inside the tunnel to refract and reflect the water correctly. Now, this can be done either incredibly quickly or incredibly slowly. So what you have to do is you have to click on your objects, say for this utility hall kit piece. I'm going to go refracted by new and select the water. As you can see there, it has gone invisible, probably because we don't have a water noise selected on it yet. But so what you can do if you don't want to select everything individually is just select everything, hit the dash on your keyboard, and this will bring up the batch window. Set refracted by, do, and then if you want you can do reflected by. I generally do this because it means I get a mixture of both. And the water should now, in theory, reflect and refract the water, oh not the water, sorry, the world correctly. Also, you don't want stuff like this. If you're going to reuse interiors, just get rid of stuff like this. Get rid of all the junk you don't need. Generally, the good way to go about it. All right, let's continue going through. I believe the next section was somewhere around here. Yeah, he blocked that door off. That's right. Let's go up here. Okay. Yeah. Now I assume this is a again a vanilla interior, but as I said, that's okay. This might have been added by the mod author. If it was added by the mod author, you want to make sure that you. Oh, hold on a minute here. Oh, this is very strange. This guy should be set to havoc, but for whatever reason he is not. Now he is. Okay. That's, yeah, it's just, the engine being weird. And again, this here, I assume this is used for something else. Yeah, it's used for these rats here. That's right. I won't be too harsh on these interiors since I understand they are, as far as I can tell, interior cells, so there's no point trying to blame Obsidian for what they've done because that's not going to help anyone. But obviously, again, okay, that has got a water texture, so I am just slightly blind, I assume. Or no, it appears that Obsidian must not have set these objects to refract water properly. Now that is incredibly strange. Now that may just be because of there's so many different things I can't even be bothered. Or it may be intentional. There are a good number of intentional things like that in the base game. What next? See, I'm not sure what this is for. So I have to find what interior this is, because you can't just put stuff like that there. Right, Rails. This is a copy of the Nellis train tunnels. I had a look at this earlier, so that's alright. There's nothing of note here. It is good that the mod author is using leveled creatures. That's always a good start with making anything. You always want to have this kind of stuff using leveled creatures, because the way that the base game generally does creature spawning is with these leveled creatures, because they will level off the well, they should in theory pardon me. Yeah, it's a very complex system for leveled creatures, and I'm sure I'll go into detail about it in the future, but not now because I have a lot of things to do. Let's continue on here. That's just another weirdly facing thing. That's alright. Oh, as I said before, what is this? This is interesting. I'm not sure if that's in the vanilla game or not. Anyway, that's not relevant. Yeah, again, try not to use vanilla interiors because you will run into problems if you let it persist long enough, and you don't want that. That's just bad. That's just bad etiquette modding. And if you are going to reuse the interiors, just delete stuff like this. Delete quest based or things that identify the interior too much, because it will just, help the overall look of the mod. Now, if you're going to put a door like this, generally try and put some frames around it if you can. If you can't, don't worry. Drop that down, and that's right, ignore that. I'm not sure what was in here. The gutsies. Yeah, okay, so let's see. Yeah, so these gutsies won't be leveled to the player at all, because they are just creature variety. Generally, for creatures and NPCs, if you want them to scale to the player's level, they should be the marker rather than the actual model itself, because that means that it won't be leveled and it won't switch from a different variety of NPCs or creatures, if that makes sense. It probably doesn't. It's very late and it's very hot here. I'm terribly sorry. This was okay, I believe. Yep, blocked off this room, but that's alright. What was that? Okay. Let's continue. Let's just fix up the door. Yep, okay. Now another thing with these kind of interiors is you want to remove this kind of stuff. You absolutely must remove this kind of stuff, especially this kind of stuff. If you've got stuff that's up here and it's not being used for anything, please do get rid of it, because it is just going to sit there and cause your interiors to lag. That is a known issue and it can happen to you, so try not to do it if you can. Especially things like so-called code boxes. Just make sure you get rid of them, because you don't want things like the main quest moving on or doing some strange thing when you don't want it to be. That would be bad. So yeah, I think that's pretty much everything I had to go over in this mod. This was I think this was this guy's second quest mod. I will give kudos to it. It's a good start. If you just follow the tips that I've provided and definitely start learning how to create your own interiors. If you need tutorials for that, I will probably be putting out my own tutorials that are a bit more structured than some of the Bethesda tutorials in the coming weeks, coming months. And won't be rambling like I am for the last 45 minutes or however long it's been. So yeah, but otherwise, good work, man. If you just follow these tips, fix up your mods, you will be all set. So that'll be the end of the video for today, guys. I hope you enjoyed. If you've enjoyed, that's great to hear. And I'll see you all next time.